Hello everybody, I'm Raphael Perry and it's time once again for some more Baldur's Gate 3. Now, I said last time that I would talk about the antagonist. Obviously I made a mistake. I did not mean the antagonist, I meant the adversary. Now, very little is known of the adversary, but I shall consult the ancient tome known as the Illithid, and also look into Dawn of the Overmind to see what I can rediscover. Now, where do I... It's somewhere around here. So I cannot remember for certain, but I cannot remember the name of the adversary. So first off, my bad, I keep calling the adversary the antagonist. I don't know why, it's just been stuck in my head for years. So, there is very little known about the adversary, but I'll let you know what we do know. The Illithid, of course, is a 2nd edition tome dealing exclusively with mindflayers as a monster species. And there is one short passage that deals with the adversary. It is entitled Partial Personalities, and it relates to mindflayers who do not fully take over the host, and a small fraction of the host's personality remains, rendering the mindflayer incomplete as far as mindflayer society is concerned. A flawed individual, a failure, and a free thinker. Towards the end of this short half-a-page section, we come upon the following information. However, a dark illithid legend speaks of the Adversary. The Adversary was an illithid lost to itself. A partial personality of uncommon strength consumed a mindflayer's personality and sought to overthrow all illithids through the innocent guise of a fellow mindflayer. Despite its apparent popularity as a story told to frighten young adult mindflayers, the Adversary legend remains just that. No sage has ever catalogued the existence of such a being. So the Adversary is a mindflayer who has infiltrated mindflayer society, pretending to be just like one of them, but actually has his own old personality from his former life, has overwhelmed the parasite and is in control. Now, around the same time as the Illithid, there was published a trilogy of mindflayer related adventures, culminating in the Dawn of the Overmind. One of the characters in that adventure was the Adversary. The Adversary had a name. I cannot remember his name off the top of my head. It was known that he was a human wizard. Ah, here we are. The Adversary. This will all become relevant in a few moments when I explain. So the Adversary was Strom Wakeman, a human wizard. He's been studying mindflayer society and searching for a way to bring it down or to prevent their grand scheme. Now, during the early access of this game, a number of players noticed
Need anything else?
that the default name for the player character was Tav, T-A-V, and a number of players...
But please, remember, you're not the only one in need.
...realised that this could be an abbreviation for the Adversary's vessel, implying that the Adversary has entered into the heads of our protagonists, and that's why the mindflayer tadpoles aren't doing their usual thing. We're going to get 2 of these just in case one fails, and we're going to trade a few of these other items off just to make room for it. So, this in and of itself is not something I can take credit for. I did not realise this. I saw the forum posts, and what was interesting about these forum posts was that almost immediately afterwards, all mentions of the Adversary were scrubbed from every Dungeons and Dragons related Wikipedia web space archive where information was kept. Almost as if someone wanted to keep this covered up. Actually, we'll keep that. And we'll... yeah, you can take these. Okay.
Sylvanus be with you.
So, this obviously began to look more suspicious, right? And it fueled the theory. Now, just because the information was removed, now, I believe the illithid was still available for purchase on various websites. You know, the information wasn't completely removed, and those of us who'd seen it already and knew about it, well, we already knew, you know. But the fact that someone was trying to cover this up made it look like someone really didn't want people to know about this. Now, that absolutely does not mean that the Adversary has anything to do with the grand plot or scheme of this game whatsoever. Even if that now seems quite likely. What it does mean, however, is that that information may have conflicted significantly. And people could look at this and say, well, hey, this thing with the Absolute completely contradicts with the Adversary, and is the Absolute the Adversary? Is the Absolute not the Adversary? We don't know, but essentially it could just have been removing old, outdated information that would cause a conflict. However, I still like the theory that the Adversary is involved here.
Food. Freshest fish I've ever had.
And
I don't care for fish.
I'm going to stick with it
Red meat.
until I know better for
That's
now.
a different matter.
It would
Rarest
certainly
ingredient.
explain why these tadpoles aren't doing what they used to.
Well, unless we find a cure, you won't have any teeth to chew it.
And it's food for thought. And if we know anything about these creatures and their cerebral diet, thought is what they like to feed. Both in terms of feeding upon and, of course, feeding their brains. Now, I did say last time that we're going to head into here and deal with some of these traps. Let's send these trap disarm kits to Astarion because he's the best suited for dealing with these things. Once I've found them, there we go. And we're going to head inside and deal with every trap we can. If he rolls a 1 and fails, his trap skill, trap disarm kit will break on an unsuccessful attempt. That's why we got a backup one, because there are a lot of traps in here. I could add guidance for a D4, but we've already got 7, right? So like, don't roll a 1 or 2. So that's a 90% pass rate already. So let's deal with some of these gas vents. They don't disappear. they stay there on the floor but become something that cannot be interacted with. Now, I probably don't need to disarm all of these, but I'm going to do that anyway because it gives me time to waffle on about the adversary. So, I ran the first 2 adventures in that mindflayer trilogy over an extremely short period of time, like 2 or 3 days, back around when they came out, before the 3rd adventure had come out, and didn't really have time to ooh, there we go. Right. That's the loss of a kit. I'll use a point of inspiration to try and... Oh, for God's sake. Right, that's not good, is it? Once more, with feeling. Probably shouldn't have thrown this... Oh my goodness. Oh. It's just cursed. You're kidding. I do have a second one. There we go. By the way, let me know what you think about the adversary theory. I'm aware that, you know, some people have already finished the game, and that's all well and good. I'm still enjoying it and having fun. And hey, if the Absolute is like a new name for the adversary, essentially, or isn't, that's interesting, right? We haven't had much interaction with the adversary yet. Or the Absolute. Oh my goodness. You cannot be serious. Apparently you can. Okay, look. That was so duff. That was just cursed. Yeah, look. Where are we? Okay. That was just terrible dice rolls. I'm sorry. That was certainly not enough. Look, you saw how many 1s and 2s in a row that was rolling. It was almost like we had the karmic dice turned on, which I certainly don't. Oh, so the plan for this session is to get Astarion to go down there, deal with the traps. Then we will come back, take Lizelle out of the party before she antagonizes everyone in the Druid's Grove. Recruit Will, then pop Astarion out of the party.
Need anything else?
And get Gale back in. And
of course,
do some adventuring.
But please, remember, you're not the only one in need.
Indeed, indeed. We are not the only one in need. Now, Potion of Animal Speaking, that's got to be fun. I need to decide where best to utilize that. Now, we'll sell them some robes, we'll sell them levers. I'm keeping the scale mail because it is slightly better than Jaria's mail shirt. I say slightly. A violin. No one's particularly skilled in its use. And we want a couple of these. So, it's interesting that the adversary, or the Absolute, might have had something to do with these unusual tadpoles that are changing our characters at a much slower rate, or not even at all. Additionally, the fact that there was a machine on the vessel to complete the process implies that maybe it's being suppressed rather than slowed down, and that it can then be, you know, completed. Like, there's some final step still to be of the transformation process that needs to be done, and the machine just finishes it off.
Sylvanus be with you.
Rather than it being an instant transformation, it's more like, oh look, it was all happening in the dark and we've just turned the light on so you can see what we've been doing. Yep, something along those lines. What is... Oh, it's down there, I see. I was confused there for a moment. I was thinking, why am I seeing the bottom of something? I wasn't, I was seeing the top of it. Right. Did I?
How delicious.
I did not send them across already. Right, where are these things that I purchased? I didn't forget to... No, I did not forget to buy them. That's good. Right. Terrible dice rolls ahoy. And we're not going to roll that badly again, are we? You know, I wouldn't normally reroll like that, but that was a terribly tragic series of atrocious dice rolls. Just far too bad.
You know what I really
Let's go around
miss
this
about
way
Baldur's
instead this
Gate?
time, eh?
Food. Freshest fish I've
So,
ever
overall in
had.
this playthrough, I'm going to strive to just accept dice rolls, take results, and just go with it, you know. Not too much reloading. Look, if we get a total party wipe, that'll be another matter.
Well, unless we find
But
a
hey.
cure, you won't have any teeth to chew it with soon enough.
It's not like I'm going to sit in front of a thing going, let's keep reloading until we pick the lock. Or whatever magical thing it might be. You know, if I don't persuade someone to be my friend, I don't persuade someone to be my friend. That's the way it is. However, when the game insists on rolling something like 3 ones in a row and breaking 2... It's like, you know, 3 plus. 3 plus on a d20. Anything that's not a 1 or a 2. That's 18 out of 20. That is 90%. It's a very high success chance. And yes, it is possible that we could fail that many dice rolls in a row. But highly improbable. And yes, I could just add guidance to make it a 2 plus, but that's... If I do that, it's probably going to roll even more ones than would be statistically possible. So, we've done that one. Let's remove the big trap here. Okay, now we'll throw in some guidance from Shadowheart, who likes trickery. Yeah, that'll be good enough. Now, having interacted with this trap, I can let you know that what this trap does is trigger every single other trap in the room. This button turns off most of the traps again. Now, I don't think we get experience points for disabling extra traps, but I'm going to just turn a load of them off anyway. It's a matter of pride, right? And showing that Astarion is good for something, after all. So essentially what happens is these vents issue forth noxious gas. No, it's not gas, is it? It's slippery, gooey gunk, like an oily sludge. All over the floor, so people keep falling over. And these gargoyle heads on the walls issue forth bolts of flame that shoot across the chamber from both sides, igniting the oily sludge upon the floor, which is still slippery and people still fall over on it, but they're also on fire, making it much harder to press the button and turn everything off. So yes, this chamber is a veritable death trap. Now, I don't think Strom Wakeman is a particularly good name for an NPC, especially not for one as legendary as the Adversary. The original adventure involved the heroes getting a letter from their old friend Strom Wakeman, or I think a ranger who used to be involved with him, and they turn up at the town to meet him, and he's disappeared, gone missing, you know, abducted by mind flayers, and they follow all of the evidence and eventually find out there's one mind flayer in the city who's abducting people. They've got a great big ice golem. That's a memorable encounter. And when I ran it, two of the heroes literally just ran it for 2 characters. See, that was the great thing about 2nd edition. You didn't have to run for a balanced party. It really helped. But we just had a fighter and a ranger. Yep, no spellcasting at all. They learned a little bit about mind flayers before meeting one. They learned that these things did strange magic that affected your head. So they went to a blacksmith's, not an armourer, but a blacksmith's, and commissioned a pair of lead helmets. I don't mean lead-lined helmets. I mean helmets made of thick lead. You know, the kind of thing that would give them serious lead poisoning if worn for an extended period of time. And they put these on to protect themselves from the creatures they both decided to call the squid heads.
An iron coin. I prefer gold. I'll take it.
And I let them wear these lead helmets. They had no mechanical benefit whatsoever. And hilariously, while they were wearing those helmets, they passed every single saving throw against mind flayer abilities for the entire first 2 adventures of the trilogy. Okay, you know what? Take it. We got a second kit, and we've disarmed almost everything in the room already. See? Accepting result. Don't need to blow inspiration when we've had a good run like this. And we've also disarmed virtually everything in here. Did we get that one? I think we got this one as well. Yes, we did. So let's go to the central sarcophagus and open it. We have a magical spear and an engraved key. Let us go and use this engraved key. Astarian's taken the key to use. I don't know if we give it back again afterwards, but hey, we're outside now and this door is unlocked. This spear. Right, let's... Heavy key. Not sure who that could belong to, but okay. The Watcher's Guide. 0 to 7 because he has a -1 strength modifier. We should really work on that. So it doesn't have a magical bonus to hit or damage. Death's Promise. When the spear misses its target, the wielder's next attack roll against the target gains True Strike. Now this isn't Pathfinder True Strike, or 3rd edition True Strike, where you literally get plus 20 to hit on your next attack roll, so you are hitting unless you roll a 1. This is like a plus 1d4 to hit or something, which is nowhere near as good. Proficiency with this weapon type unlocks an ability which we can't read too well, but let's give this to Shadowheart. Because she's holding a spear with both hands in her promotional artwork. And hey, she gets to be proficient with it, and we get to read what this says. It is a rush attack. We've seen that before on some other weapons. So now she has a spear. I might just go install the mod that lets shields appear on backs when they're not in use, because it's very annoying that they just disappear completely. Right, let's go back up to here. And before we go into the Druid's Grove, we do know that Lae'zel is rather lacking in the social airs and graces. She has a habit
So,
of
you
antagonizing
and
things on her
Lae'zel?
own.
Seems tense.
Please don't remind me. But keep your guard up with her.
Note.
I'm not sure she is the adversary incarnate, but she's pretty hostile to almost everything we do. I don't think she... I think it's more her nature, her culture, her upbringing. I don't think it's that she's actively hostile towards us. Let's have Astarion stay in camp for a while.
Well, hello. What can I do for you?
You can stay here for a bit.
Oh, darling, I'm hurt. I thought we had something special.
Yeah, about that. Maybe we'll talk about that another time. Just stay here for now, please, okay?
I guess I'll spend my evenings lounging here while you do all the hard work. It sounds awful.
Sarcasm, the chasm of the Sar. Chasm, 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 Sar. Sarcasm, the chasm of the Sar. That's what Astarion was giving us. Oh yeah. Now, Lae'zel, let me just distract you from sharpening that sword for a moment. Where did she get a mindflayer head from? Probably the one we killed in the ship at the beach. Don't know about the ogre head though. Or the hyena head.
Be wary of false promises. The missing druid, Halsin, was it? He may be talented, but only a Githyanki Zathis can cleanse an embedded tadpole.
Do you know much about mindflayers?
I understand much beyond your comprehension. More to the point, I know the cure for our condition. It is imperative we locate a creche. You do well to observe more and question less.
Yes, but a creche is a baby daycare facility. With sort of like, less teachers, more sort of nannies. Yeah, maid servants. Essentially. Do you know what happens if we don't find a cure?
Yes, in great detail. It starts with a fever and memory loss. Then you start to hallucinate. Your hair falls out, and you bleed from every orifice. Your bones will change form. Your jaw will split to allow room for 4 great tentacles. All skin will turn to gore and be shed to reveal new flesh underneath. Then you have ceased to exist, and a mind flayer is born.
I like the way she seemed afraid at the end there. This is remarkably similar to the account from the illithid about 20-25 years ago. That's not going to happen. We will find a cure.
Words forged in steel. May your actions express the same metal. We must find my kind and be rid of the parasite. It's as simple as that. The first symptoms should have long since started, though. That is what puzzles me.
As it should, my lady. Now, you're worried we haven't changed. This is good news, yes, but she doesn't know why.
Yes, if you give it no further thought. But anomalies lead to surprises. Bad surprises. Besides, what hasn't happened may yet come to pass.
Alright, why don't you just wait here in camp for a bit. Cool down.
Shook, you believe you can survive without me?
Why don't we make a game of it? See if I can handle a day without you, yeah? I'm not arguing, alright? Just stay here.
As you say, do not keep me waiting.
So yeah, I don't think she hates us, I just think it's kind of an attitude thing. Gale, my good friend, man, are you going to come adventuring me or what?
What's on your mind?
I'll give you 3 guesses, but it involves you casting spells while standing by my side.
With pleasure. Lead on.
Absolutely. Alright. Let's get back out of camp and adventuring. We don't need to rest. We haven't used any special abilities yet. And we'll head back into the Druid's Grove and find a friend.
Shadows for eyes, you said.
Merely
Wait,
that
what?
if the eyes are the mirror to the soul, yours have dark curtains across the mirror. No offense taken, I hope.
Not necessarily. I haven't made up my mind about you yet.
She's a pretty cold fish. She seems to appeal to the same kind of people who liked Viconia in Baldur's Gate 1, and who liked Viconia in Baldur's Gate 2, and who liked Morrigan in Dragon Age Origins. The 2 characters have a lot in common. They're both pretty horrible people you wouldn't really want to get very involved with unless there's something wrong with you in the head.
The waiting's getting to me.
But at least Shadowheart has an excuse that we might find out more about later. Not gonna steal that stuff. Hello.
The Blade of Frontiers at your calling.
Hey. Come on, man. I think it's time we go off on a devil hunt for that creature you spoke of earlier.
I like your thinking. Besides, I watched you fight at the gate. I could use an ally like you. Ready when you are.
The famous Blade of Frontiers in the flesh. Clever, this hero act you've got going.
Hero, Blade. Name strangers gave me. My friends call me Will.
Excellent. If we ever become friends, I'll know what to call you.
Yeah. As I said, horrible person. So,
This is no fortress.
Will's gained a few levels. Let's look into that. He is a member of the Warlock class. And so he's going to get level 2 Warlock stuff. Now, his story is tied to him being this class, so I'm not going to go multi-classing anytime soon. So he gets a new spell. We got Burning Hands, which is a nice little cone area in front of him. Charm Person, could be funky. Command. Command a creature to flee, move closer, freeze, drop to the ground, or drop its weapon. Expeditious Retreat for running away or towards an enemy. Hellish Rebuke. React to your next attacker with flames that deal 2 to 20 fire damage. And that's not concentration. Okay. Hex. 1d6 necrotic damage, conditional. Make your attacks deal an additional 1d6 necrotic damage to the target and give it disadvantage on an ability of your choosing. If the target dies before the spell ends, you can hex a new creature without expending a spell slot. In other words, you can keep casting this. Once you've cast it, you can keep casting it again as long as the target dies quickly. So it's like a damage boost. We've got protection from evil and good, and witch bolts. And down here we have Eldritch Invocations. I'm just going to briefly say that some of these give proficiency with skills. So obviously what I'm going to do is check which skills he's already proficient with. Looks like Arcana, Animal Handling, Survival, Intimidation, and Persuasion. So he could have got Persuasion proficiency, which wouldn't stack, and Deception proficiency, which is already a +3, so it's reasonably decent. That might not be the best option for him then. Oh, and I was gonna. He's got spells. He's got Arms of Hadar, which is like a offensive spell, and he's got the Armor of whatever it is, defensive spell, right? I can't remember exactly how it works, but so I'm thinking Hellish Rebuke. It feels fitting with his personality, pointing like, "Oi, you know." React to your next attacker, so that's not. They don't have to hit him; they just have to attack him. Then Eldritch Incantations. Agonizing Blast adds his Charisma modifier to the damage that his Eldritch Blast deals, unless it is negative. 17 would be a +3 modifier, so +3 damage. Armor of Shadows can cast Mage Armor on yourself at will without expending a spell slot. He's wearing light armor already. Beast Speech can cast Speak with Animals at will without expending a spell slot. Again, that could be relatively useful. I'm not sure it quite fits his theme though. Beguiling Influence. You invoke your patron's Bewitching Charm. You gain proficiency in Deception and Persuasion, which would really only be proficiency in Deception. Now, Deception proficiency does feel very appropriate for him given what he's doing. He's even deceiving himself. But do we want to waste half an invocation just to get that? Devil's Sight, you can see in the dark with his one good eye. 80 feet, that's a long-range dark vision. He could snipe stuff with his Eldritch Blasts. Fiendish Vigor can cast False Life on yourself at will as a level 1 spell without expending a spell slot, and would give him 7 temporary hit points, which would help him stay in the fight. Mask of Many Faces can cast Disguise Self at will without expending a spell slot. Will is the Blade of Frontiers. He wants people to treat him as an iconic hero. If he goes constantly changing his... this is his image, this is how he wants to be recognised and noticed. He doesn't want people not knowing that it's him doing things. His pride wouldn't let him, so no. One with Shadows. You learn how to cast One with Shadows. So that's not invisibility then, it's something to do with sneaking. Repelling Blast. When you hit a creature with Eldritch Blast, you can push the creature up to 15 feet away from you. And Thief for 5 Fates. Once per long rest you can cast Bane using a Warlock spell slot. So it does use a spell slot, unlike the Armor of Shadows. Bane targets up to 3 creatures. They receive a d4 penalty on attack rolls and saving throws. This would help make them vulnerable, especially if I had taken the Hex spell. I'm going to go Agonizing Blast, and I think I will go Beguiling Influence. There we go. And I could replace a spell. Armor of Agathis. Gains 5 temporary hit points and deal 5 cold damage to any creature that hits you with a melee attack. No, that's good. And Arms of Hadar. 2d6 necrotic damage. Prevent targets from using reactions. And it seems to be an area of effect around him. On save, targets will take half damage but are able to use reactions. Still take half damage, but oh, okay, I see. 10-foot range. No, I don't think we're going to swap a spell. And he's also level 3. So, gains a new spell. We have level 2 spells available. Blindness. Cloud of Daggers. Crown of Madness. That's a spell I would like to see used at some point soon. Darkness. Enthrall. So that's not like a charm. It makes them look at you. That's great if you're a Gorgon and you're going to turn them into stone when they look at you or something. Or it might make it so a rogue like Astarion could sneak up behind them. Hold person, yeah, paralyze them, great stuff. Invisibility, mirror image, free wills! Misty Step. Hey, he could like that. Ray of Enfeeblement, Scorching Ray, Shatter, and level 1 spells. I think I'm going to go with Cloud of Daggers because he is the blade and likes blade related things. And Pact Boon. Your patron bestows a gift upon you for your loyal service. Choose one of the following pacts. In early access, a lot of why does he have a backwards belt buckle? We need to get him a new outfit soon. Everyone pointed out that he was supposed to be fighting with a sword more than he was supposed to be casting spells, and that he was obviously supposed to be a Pact of the Blade Warlock. So Pact of the Chain. You gain the service of a familiar, a fey spirit that takes a form of your choosing. This can be an animal, imp, or quasit. So, quasit's like another kind of imp, really. Pact of the Blade. You can summon a pact weapon or bind the one you are wielding, making it magical. Pact weapons use the wielder's spellcasting ability modifier instead of strength or dexterity. So I would be getting the +3 to hit and damage from charisma instead of the -1 to hit and damage from strength or the +1 to hit and damage from dexterity. Pact of the Tome. Your patron grants you a grimoire called the Book of Shadows, which allows you to cast Guidance, Vicious Mockery, and Thorn Whip. We're going to go with Pact of the Blade because Pact of the Blade did not exist in early access and everyone complained that he was rubbish without it and wasn't very good in a fight and kind of not as good as the other party members. So let's give it a try. And do we want to change a spell? I mean, what would we want to get? We could get Hex. I think go without Hex for a bit, and maybe we'll swap one of these three for Hex later on. So now, her battle. You're proficient with a weapon. You can only have one at a time. The weapon disappears if you're more than 5 feet away from it or more than 10 rounds. Okay. So we might be able to throw it. You can only have one packed weapon at a time. Cannot drop or throw it. Become proficient with it if you aren't already. Weapon returns to its previous state. So, damage becomes magical, but this one doesn't say that it gives us charisma modifier to hit and damage, right? So, is this magical damage? The damage is magical. So unless we get a really good magic weapon, we're probably going with this one. Okay. Well, we have decent reason to leave the grove and go looking for this demonic woman he wants to take down. Oh, but we got like a load of spare weapons we can sell off. So yeah, let's do that. We are starting to reach a point where we can afford some upgraded equipment for people. I want to say that it's a little early to be making those kind of decisions.
We're exposed now.
Because it's the kind of investment which could almost bankrupt us. So let's be careful for a bit.
Looking for steel? I have, well, something close.
Close. Well, we'll take close at the moment. You know, anything will do.
Depends. How many people are dumb enough to ask?
Keep a spare dagger.
True.
Don't need a two-handed club. Don't need these 2 bows. We could give Will one, but let's hold off on that. We've got a short sword, a load of staves, 2 soul coins. I think Astarion might have had one as well. That'd make it 3. Leather gloves. Leather boots. We can sell this. I mean, right, this is an upgrade for us. It's, is it simple or martial? Doesn't say, but it doesn't say we're not proficient with it either, so we could utilize that. It's got the same bonking attack that our mace has.
I'd die if I met Leroica reeking of this place. I'll never get the smell
I'm
of
not
my
so sure
clothes.
though.
I'll have to burn them.
We don't need that sword. Now what have we here? Hunting shortbow, can cast Hunter's Mark. Some armor. Some more metallic boots might come in useful. Magic heavy crossbow. Okay, that's for serious heavy duty shooting. Light crossbow should be quicker to reload. I heard a rumour that they removed the reload times on crossbows, which makes heavy crossbows very potent indeed. Right, magic longsword,
Don't be grumpy, Roland.
rapier,
It's the city soon.
magic
I am not
rapier
grumpy.
mind.
Scowl on your face would frighten a troll.
Rapier is
You're an
finesse, so
idiot.
it can use dexterity instead of strength. Got a nice helmet here, we could grab that. So heavy, no armor class bonus from dexterity. I don't think he has anything we desperately want at this point. So we'll just take our payment in coin for now.
I could
There
use
we
the
go.
target practice.
Druids. Who uses wooden tools?
How long until Roland shows off his
Annoyingly, we'll have to go all the way back to camp to see if
Depends.
Astarion did have
How
a
many
third
people are
soul
dumb enough
coin,
to
so I
ask?
can do that later. Either in this episode or the next one. But hey, we've made a new friend, and he says he's very important and powerful. Everyone seems to look up to him as the kind of hero figure he wishes to be. He is revered by the tieflings for coming to their aid in their time of need when all the goblins were attacking them. Now, there is a bit of a disconnect with Will in that everyone in the grove acts as if he's been here for the last few weeks, right? But he appears to have been a new arrival coming in at the same time as us. But he's already settled in, he's training people, he's acting like he's been here a few days, and it didn't take us quite that long
A mere werebear could swat me halfway
to get to the grove.
Strange things are happening to us. What festers in our minds may well impel our bodies.
You know, actually, we encountered a devil recently, didn't we?
The Blade of Frontiers at your calling.
Excellent. What do you think of the devil Raphael?
He brings to mind a story. The Devil with the Silver Tongue.
An old fairy tale my father read to me. The kind with a hero, a villain, and a moral. A farmer made a deal with the devil, so the story goes. In exchange for the farmer's dearest fruit, the devil granted him a bottomless coin purse. The farmer's dearest fruit, naturally, was no apple, no peach, but his beloved daughter. We can learn a lot from fairy tales, don't you think?
Indeed we can, but that doesn't mean every story has to have a moral. With the right teacher, yes. What are your thoughts on the devil, Will? Get to the point. You mean Raphael? We should at least consider his offer given our circumstances. Spare me the parables. No. Okay, yeah, but what do you mean? What are you getting at here?
Refuse him, no matter how tempting the offer, no matter how delicious the feast he lays out for you. The cost will be too great.
I'm inclined to agree. He spoke of a cure. We have to at least hear him out.
Take a single step towards him, and he'll dog you the whole journey. You might think you'd give up anything for a cure, but the devil won't take just anything. He'll take everything.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty much in agreement there. How does the Blade of Frontiers end up chasing a devil in the hills?
Karlach's fires raged in Baldur's Gate before she escaped to Avernus, as my source told it. And she was planning to return. One of the archdevils Zariel's own, chaos incarnate, a devil with pure fire for a heart. I made my way to Avernus to stop her. She fled from my reach, even climbed aboard the mindflayer ship as it screeched through the hells. I followed in close pursuit. I can't bear to imagine the lives Karlach might be taking, the damage she might be doing.
Who is this source of yours?
A powerful friend with a keen interest in privacy. I'm sworn to say no more.
Interesting, they asked him to mispronounce privacy. He has a reasonable English accent. Then again, the game is made for an American audience after all. Yeah, fine, look, let's just leave it there for now. I suspect he may be his own source.
Have you wondered what people will say, Will, when they find out the monster hunter is becoming a monster?
I've faced countless perils and conquered them all. This will be no different.
I've always had a soft spot for the confident ones. They always disappoint, though.
Lady, you've got issues. Like, serious issues. Like Abdul the Painless Camel Castrator type issues. Now.
Hang on, Ed. You're going to be alright.
People up ahead.
Something's wrong. You're scaring him.
Can we send Will in?
And I'm off.
You never know, right?
You're alright. You're alright.
Okay, this isn't
You're
good.
a true soul. You can't die. Please, stay with us.
I don't think he's conscious. Can you hear us, Ed?
You, not a step closer.
A strange symbol glows marked on their flesh, and something within you stirs in response.
Keep a careful eye on him. What happened to your friend? The Blade of Frontiers goes where he wishes. I can change characters, can't I? Ah, and this does take me out of the conversation, unlike the other one. Okay, let's just listen in then. I go where I wish. Don't roll a 1. Gonna regret this later on. Question is, why would Will do this? This is an interesting facet to his character, that he might do this.
I'm so sorry. It's our brother, True Soul Edwin. He's injured and I wasn't thinking.
A shiver runs across your mind. You feel sated. The injured man locks eyes with you. The parasite writhes in your head.
I'll hold his stare, gaze into his eyes.
Your minds intertwine. You see his siblings, Andric and Brenna, new recruits. Yours to shepherd.
Protect them.
This isn't good.
Mind the true soul. He will. He. Edwin! Ed! Please!
He's with the Absolute now.
A true soul. Thank the Absolute. Edwin, our brother. He was chosen. Like you.
Do you have orders for us? We were reporting to Edwin.
Okay, forgetting the fact that Edwin uses a dwarf body model, let's focus on the fact that the brother has a Scottish accent and the sister does not. Neither does this brother. I'm not sure that by siblings he means biological siblings. He might mean spiritual siblings. You're mistaken. I'm no true soul. What's a true soul? Explain this absolute to me. If I'm a true soul, they seem to think we all know about the absolute. So if I'm a true soul, I should probably know about that and not ask. Perhaps you can help me. I'm looking for the druid Halsin. Why are you out here? The wilderness is dangerous. What happened to your brother exactly? No, I'll go with this. Would this be a test for them? No. Why are you out here? The wilderness is dangerous.
We know that all too well, sir, but the Absolute sent us here.
We're looking for fugitives, survivors from that ship that crashed farther west of here.
What happened to your brother exactly?
An oil bear. It had him on the ground before we had a chance to react. We managed to drag him away, but the beast's claws had already done their work. I told Edwin not to look in that cave. It was filthy with oil bear tracks.
I see. So they're looking for survivors from the ship. These fugitives, tell me more.
We don't know what they look like, but anyone who survived that crash is bound to be injured. That's enough to get us started. The Absolute wants them found. At any cost.
Forget the owlbear. You're still alive, so go.
What? And just leave Ed? I suppose he'd want us to go on. Find a way to honor his sacrifice.
May the Absolute guide us.
Right. Yeah. Didn't have to make any sort of persuasion or deception rolls at all.
Absolute, eh? Same name that goblin Sazza mentioned.
Yeah, about that.
Seems as though the Absolute's attracting followers from all kinds of places.
It seems our infection comes with an unexpected symptom. The ability to influence others.
I didn't click on her.
An interesting development, but one to be treated with caution. For better or for worse.
Perhaps there's some hierarchy depending on who's available in the party. Such powers of manipulation could be useful, and if it makes our enemies more malleable, all the better. That seems like something a mindflayer would say. If this power comes from these parasites, it can't be trusted, however useful it must be. These are strange times and even stranger powers. We should seek to understand them before we make any rash decision.
Sensible.
What about... So I presume that was a take on the old party four-way discussions where you'd get a bit of confusion about, let's look at this dead body.
Strange power resonates within the corpse. It calls to you. Your limbs move of their own accord. There's something of value, something your mind craves. Why let its host's memories go to waste? The tadpole has absorbed it all. Its experience could nourish you, strengthen you.
Let your body guide you. Welcome the tadpole's influence. No, I'm not going to do that. The tadpole is toying with you. Resist it. Force your mind shut. You will not be influenced by an illithid parasite. I really will not be influenced. Watch it roll a 1. Hey, there we go. That's good. That's probably for the best.
Your muscles loosen. The tadpole breaks free of its deceased host. Your mind is your own again. For now.
It's going to try and get out of his head and find a new host, if it can. Although, perhaps it's too fused with the brain. What's that? Odd. Ugh, it's got away! Right, we've got some gold, a salami, bottle, some dried pork sausages, rope of dried sausages, a shaft of a broken spear, snapped and cleanly in the middle, and a spicy pork sausage. We will hold on to that spear. Now, is that thing around here somewhere still? It looks like it got away, although it can't survive for long outside a host. So mindflayer tadpoles generally exist in a briny pool of sludge, overseen by an elder brain. The brain lives in the pool, the tadpoles all live in the pool of the brain, and the tadpoles gobble each other up. They are cannibalistic, they eat one another. And as they eat more tadpoles, they grow larger and larger, until eventually the larger ones are chosen for insertion into a host. Ah, there we go. Ruptured mindflayer pod. We should probably investigate this. And it is very rare that a single tadpole will go unselected for so long and devour so many other tadpoles it grows into a giant, monstrous mega tadpole called a neophyllid. That is like a ginormous 15-20 foot long tadpole crawling around attacking everything. They're pretty horrific. And also, fortunately, very rare. There is a creature in Pathfinder that's basically a neophyllid. Basically.
An empty mindflayer vessel. If its occupant survived, then nowhere to be seen.
Now, I haven't exactly been counting broken pods, but this one was thrown quite far from the blast. Its occupant may have been Will. It could be someone else.
I saw you training those children. You were so gentle. That's not how I was taught.
Cruel words strengthen neither heads nor hearts, Shadowheart.
I wouldn't quite say that. I learned a lesson, after all.
And came to resent your tutor, I bet. I taught them to fight, not to hate.
I was about to say, let's not cross over this stream down here at the ford, but instead rise up to the bridge. There was a mushroom over here as well, after all, wasn't there? Yeah. Oh, wait, and some mugwort. We might be able to do some stuff here with this thing. Right. Ah, new recipe. Excellent. Salts of rogue's morsel. Right, so it'll be 3 rogue's morsel to make salts of rogue morsel, which can be used to do something else.
West Baldur's Gate. East El Terrell.
So El Terrell would be back this way across the water. Hang on. Some potatoes in that sack. Lovely. Oh.
You seemed quite forward with your compliments earlier. We'd only just met.
Seize the day, I say. More now than ever.
Careful you don't pull a muscle in your haste.
That explains his flirtation earlier, after barely meeting us. Could be an attitude thing.
Dead goblins. Dead travelers.
Were they heading to the Druid's Grove?
Probably away from it. These could be part of Aradin's group. Got some more scrolls. Oh, yeah, speaking of scrolls. We got a wizard who's probably interested in learning all those.
More for me?
So let's hand him some scrolls. Now, he probably knows a fair amount of these already. But it's always worth letting a wizard have some variety. Otherwise, he might as well just be a sorcerer. And while non-wizards can now use goblins drawing. A childlike charcoal drawing of 3 stick figures. Can we? Drawn in thick charcoal lines upon an animal skin, this childlike portrait depicts 3 stick figures, a goblin with sparks in its hands, a square, humanoid figure, and what seems to be an elf. Each of them is wearing a simple crown. Could be important. I think I know who those are. Right.
My faith will guide me.
We have more scrolls to pass to the magician, which he will attempt to copy into his spellbook.
The pride of the gate. No rest for the wicked, I see.
Now, copying spells into his spellbook will require expensive inks and magical ingredients, and, essentially, money. Go away. We know that already. Let's keep going. Now this is eating into our equipment fund, which is also one reason why I didn't want to spend too much money buying equipment just yet. Okay, he already knows that. I think already knows both of these and this. Excellent. Do we want to change his spell selection for today? I kind of want to say drop sleep for Tasha's hideous laughter. There we go.
At least things have stayed interesting.
Now there was plants around here. There we go.
I'll take that.
Well, there was something right here, wasn't there? Exsanguinated boar. Sanguine is blood, isn't it? So a boar with all the blood taken out of it.
Something's waiting up ahead.
Sounds like an ambush. Oh, this is... I remember him. Isn't he the one who tried to... You know, Cannon's friend who tried to talk his sister out of doing something she'd regret?
Moonhaven.
Okay,
So
let's live
Will,
dangerously.
What was the Blade of Frontier's toughest kill?
Ah, it was a great scrap. A hungry minotaur with a hankering for human flesh. An axe-bearing mountain of fur she was. Gave me a nasty scar.
I hope you don't mind if I don't ask to see it.
The Blade of Frontiers does have plenty of scars.
Get over there! Surround them like!
I know you're there. Show
You
yourselves.
spotted us! Good! It's like they say, no fun in skewing a pig what doesn't know he's cooked.
That doesn't even make sense. Look, I don't want any trouble.
And I didn't want to be stuck mopping up nosy trespassers like you. Ain't no one getting their way today.
As the symbol glows, power courses through you. Authority.
I'm not going to use that. I can try and intimidate with goblins. I can try and persuade with advantage. So let me buy and we'll pretend this never happened. Oh, I see. And we'll pretend this never happened. That's why. Let's just have some fun. If we leave the goblins here, there'll be trouble for other people further down the line.
This ought to be fun. Let's!
Now, this is going to get dangerous, so we want to be careful. I like the fact that arrow missed. Okay, we got a problem. Hellish Rebuke, yeah, sure, absolutely. Get burnt. Now, I think we're going to move through the flames. He's not on fire. He is late in the initiative, though. Okay, who's vulnerable out here? We got Will on 2024. And where is Jaria? We'll go Shield of Faith. And move round here for a bit of safety. Wait, that goblin is out of the fight. Oh, come on. Seriously?
You look good with a few arrows sticking out of your guts.
Okay, Will doesn't like that. So 10 to every hit points is good. We've got Eldritch Blast. Let's see, does it extend to the goblin up here? It certainly does. Let's try that. Wait, does that involve moving? Ever so slightly. Don't catch it. You idiot, you went into the flames. Right, drink a potion. And run back out of the fire. It's okay.
Gonna add your ears to my collection. Dead.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Right. Put out that fire. And then if you could, like,
on my way.
Run round the ragged rock a little bit. No, round the rugged rock the ragged rascal ran. That's the tongue twister. Right, and drink a potion as well. Why not?
I wonder if this is worth the cost.
Right, you know what? Yeah, just a level 1. And if we go up this way, damn it with the flames. Possibly not the best place for her to go to, but we've got Shield of Faith at the moment and a good armor class. We might get ignored in favour of other targets, or just missed, or we could just get hit with every single attack. Right, that's bad damage. She's not on fire anymore. How can we... Okay, we can get up here. Past the bloodless boar. Or we can rush this way. Now, if we do go this way... we want to be careful not to trigger additional combats. So... shouldn't have done that.
Heading there.
Seeking a new target, are you? We'll soon see about that. Oh, there's a ladder. Perfect. Loving that miss. Right. That Misty Step spell would probably have been really good for him. Is there a safe jump? Hell no. We'll take the temporary hit points. There's nothing that can reach you from here. but it's a good start. Haha. Right. Yeah. Gale doesn't like being poisoned. Let's think about spells. Rage. Can we get you in range? Look, you bastard. Yeah. There we go, that's what we want.
My pleasure.
Yeah, laugh it off, mate.
Flank. Outsmart.
So by taking that goblin out of the fight, we've reduced all our foes to being on one side of the conflict. Let's sprint for the ladder. We're not gonna... Hey, there's a goblin. Excellent. Get off the roof. Or not, as the case may be. And we'll go stand here next to the caster. Of course, when Lae'zel hears about this later, she'll tell us all that if she'd been involved in doing this, she would have done so much better than we could. But she's not here now. I see that goblin, that's not part of the fight. We do not want to go that way.
Need to stay hidden.
Yeah, you keep laughing, pal. Now, Will does not like these flames, so we'll just jump over them. Oh, for goodness sake.
No time to waste.
Fine. And there we go. Excellent damage. Loving the miss there. Right. Is there... Yes, we can extinguish the flames. Wonderful. You. Tenacity. That probably shouldn't be on our screen, sure. Can we get you off the roof? Excellent, we can. Right by Will, who also happens to be on fire. Right, there's a goblin here with a bow we should probably go and stand next to, just to be threatening. Yep, that's a problem. Okay. Gonna have to jump back down here, because we don't want to antagonize that additional goblin and draw him into the fight. We probably also shouldn't be sneaking at this point. Right, healing word would be great, but not much use. Let's run around here and get nearer the fight. That goblin keeps laughing, that's great. Right. Where, oh where, dead. Perfect. Ladder. There is a goblin warrior over there, so we want to be careful with that. But we can probably tackle this one on the roof if we're a little bit further. There we go. Excellent. Flourish. He's too far away. Now, we've only got two foes left. One over here on the roof and one up here. So,
indeed,
this fire is all out. We should definitely be casting mage armor. There we go. It's got a long duration. Right, you.
Think you can take me on?
Sure. Get off the roof. Or stay on it then. What a little bugger. Now that goblin is our main threat. So what we're going to do is just run over here. Is Will close enough? He is. Perfect. Oh really? Wow. Okay. We're just going to come over here. You're not laughing anymore. No. Knocking him off down there might cause that goblin warrior to notice there's a fight going on up here. But hey, let's just try distracting him a bit, right? Okay, that didn't work either.
One can't always be a gentleman.
You know what? We used a couple of spell slots already. Let's just go over cantrip. Mate, okay, fine. Now we're on... Oh, over here. Right, okay.
Try me.
That's better. This goblin's I hear sounds of snoring down there. Let's hope he doesn't wake. Yeah, you come out to the owl, says Gale. Right, let's run.
Got to press on.
This way, towards these doors, and down here to be a target for the goblin to shoot at. Now, what are you going to do up here, mate? Apparently, a lot of pain and hurt. And hey, does he not get to do his fire retaliation thing? Apparently not. Oh, he's awake now. Oh, come on! Seriously? Well, we'll have to do something about that. We can strike, we can try, but let's save that for a more dangerous opponent. That works. We'll take these things. Moss-covered key. Some mushrooms, scroll of grease, some money. Let's get down this thing so we can get healed up at some point. Because, ow, that's a lot of pain. And to think I was tempted to turn up the difficulty. Right, where oh where? The bugbear's gone into the building, hasn't he? So he could be coming out here in front. Let's go hide around the corner here where we're less likely to be shot by the goblin up there.
Sometimes the only way out is through.
Speaking of goblins,
May the
up.
gods take you first.
Sure. And we'll go for a push as well, because there's some falling damage. Excellent. Probably not in the best situation ourselves right now. Oh, you absolute scum bucket. Now, where are you bugger? Here you are. Not enough movement. Well, hey, look at this. We can at least be very close and threatening. Now this is what we should be more concerned about. He's running around the front instead of through the building. Oh, he's going up to the roof. Well, let's get off it then. Let us absolutely get off the roof. Now. There's a goblin there with a bow. Will is on low health. This is not wise. So, we'll want to take half damage from weapons for a bit. And advance cautiously towards cover now. You know what? Hey, bugbear. Guess what? Not enough. Okay. I mean, we could just... Oh, too far. Excellent. We'll just end our turn then.
It comes easy these days.
Don't like you being there. Could go blast him. Actually, that's a pretty good chance. I shouldn't have said a thing. Really? Well, she passed a concentration roll. Let's
make this quick.
If you miss, you get True Strike next time. And let's have a bit of a heal. Got a bit of a vendetta going on over here. Oh, he's running. And jumping. Wow. Okay. Will, what you got for me? Pain, hardship. How about also getting up in the building? So you're not getting up in the building. Okay,
coming through.
We'll try. Okay. There's a doorway around here. It's fine. Just hope he doesn't draw too much attention. Will! Hey, there's a bugbear. It looks very nasty. How about just like pummeling it full of magic missiles? What other options do we have that are nice and fun? Can make a roof slippery. Let's level 2 reduce the bugbear. Make him smaller. He's a tiny bugbear! Look at him! He's like normal sized! And let's run away from... Wait, we could go push him. No! That is not good enough. Right, we're going to back up here and play it safe. Right, Jaria, fight the small bugbear. Push him through the hole in the roof, down into the room below. Excellent, and move towards the ladder.
On my way.
You can't get on the ladder. Fine. That's okay. There's a bugbear to deal with. Obviously, that's a massive threat. Guiding Bolt is a lovely spell. That's excellent. Let's move around to here and keep them occupied while Will runs, well, staggers towards the door. Ow. Okay, fine.
Not simple enough.
Not quite enough to get in there and do damage, and also he's in a bad way. You know, per battle, sure. Warhammer, Trident, Rapier, 200 sword, a glaive. Sure, we'll go for a glaive, it's fancy. Look, it might be useful.
May the dice roll in my favor.
It's probably also worth bearing in mind that
Common to cleric 4.
different skeleton. Do you speak with dead on that? Different weapons will have different special attacks.
Time to push my luck again.
And that is why I think it would be worth familiarising myself with all the weapons that Will can summon. Ow. Okay, that's a problem. You get stabbed. It's not enough. And you get healed because it hurts like hell. This thing keeps hitting though. That's really bad for us. Right. Can we get in there and fight it? Yes, we can. The Blade of Frontiers is coming in to check what special attacks he has. So a rush attack, lacerate. Hey, you're gonna bleed for me. You're gonna die for me. bugbear, even if you revert to full size, and we're going to nick all your stuff.
I don't fancy their chances.
Now, where is that goblin got to? It's right there. Oh, that's perfect. Sparrow, motherfucker. Oh, terrible.
No choice but to keep going.
Full speed through that door.
Has to put my hands on everything.
And into the building. Now, the goblin did not shoot Will. We are happy with this. It's okay. Oh, blast it. Tried. Avoid the acid for now. Right, you. We don't have a sleep spell ready. Goblin has... We've used a lot of spell slots, so we're just going to go... cantrips for now. Right, everybody, that was a very painful encounter for us. So, we're going to want to... yeah, just pain. All round pain. Lots of tools here. So what I was going to do is preserve life. And then we can take a short rest.
That helped.
Gale can use Arcane Recovery. He's got 2 level 1 spell slots. Let's bring back a level 2 spell slot because it's much more valuable. And we can still use a level 1 spell in a level 2 slot for a higher level version of the same spell.
Never a dull moment.
Now, temporary hit points equals charisma modifier. What level combined? Okay.
Will with a Y. Why?
Why? That's right.
Good question.
But why?
Why? A great uncle's name, my father said. But I just figured he couldn't spell.
Yeah, it comes across more like a spelling mistake.
Don't waste a step.
We can attack those webs. I'm not going to. Because it's more fun to do this a slightly different way. Oh, it's not a book, it's a cutting board. Okay. Got a spear. 2-handed axe. Anything else here? Oh yeah, the goblin outside. Fine, look. There's a hammer. I'll take your hammer.
Might be useful.
Might come in useful. There's an anvil here after all. But we have struggled, had a nice hard fight against the goblins. I think it's probably high time we consider ending the session.
Let's have a look.
Nice. We probably shouldn't tell Lae'zel how we did in her absence. She will chide us, tell us that we couldn't survive without her. And aren't we so lucky that she's there in camp ready to come with us? But yeah, for now, I am going to end the episode here. We've disarmed traps, we've found treasure, we've talked about the adversary, we've made a new friend, and we had a nice tough fight with goblins. I think that was pretty decent. Okay, yeah, gonna end this one here. Hope you guys have enjoyed this episode, and I'll look forward to seeing you all in the next one. I'll say bye-bye for now though, and cheerio everyone. See you all soon.